Hello and welcome. Today we're diving deep into a topic that has captivated headlines and stirred intense emotions across Nigeria and beyond: the life imprisonment sentence handed down to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, or IPOB. This isn't just a legal case. It's a story deeply rooted in history, identity, and a struggle that has spanned generations. To truly understand the weight of this moment, we need to travel back in time, back to the late 1960s, to a conflict that left an indelible scar on the nation's soul: the Biafra War. Between 1967 and 1970, Nigeria was engulfed in a brutal civil war. The eastern region, predominantly inhabited by the Igbo people, declared its independence as the Republic of Biafra. This declaration was not made in a vacuum. It was the culmination of rising ethnic tensions, political instability, and tragic events that led the Igbo people to feel unsafe and marginalized within the Nigerian state. The war that followed was devastating. Estimates suggest that millions of lives were lost, many due to starvation and disease as a result of a Nigerian blockade. When Biafra surrendered in 1970, the official policy was one of no victor, no vanquished, aiming for reconciliation and reintegration. But for many, the wounds never truly healed. The grievances that fueled the war, feelings of political exclusion, economic disparity, and a desire for self-determination, simmered beneath the surface for decades. This is the historical stage upon which Mazi Nnamdi Kanu emerged. Born after the war, he inherited this legacy of unresolved conflict. He tapped into a deep well of sentiment among many Igbos who felt that the promises of one Nigeria had not been fulfilled. Through his broadcasts on Radio Biafra, Kanu became a powerful and often controversial voice, articulating these frustrations and reigniting the call for an independent Biafran state. His message was simple and powerful. The only solution to the perceived injustices was secession. He argued that the fundamental issues that led to the civil war were never addressed, and that the Igbo people and other groups in the region would never achieve true freedom and prosperity within the Nigerian Federation. His methods and rhetoric have been a source of intense debate. Supporters see him as a courageous freedom fighter, a visionary leader speaking truth to power and giving voice to the voiceless. They view his activism as a continuation of the struggle for survival and self-determination that their parents and grandparents fought for. For them, his arrest and trial are not just about one man, but about the suppression of their collective aspirations. They point to his passionate advocacy as the reason the Biafra question has returned to the forefront of national and international discourse. To his followers, he is a symbol of resistance against a system they believe is inherently unfair. On the other hand, critics and the Nigerian government view him very differently. They label him as a provocateur, an agitator whose inflammatory language has stoked division and threatened the unity and security of the country. The government has accused his organization, IPOB, of being a terrorist group responsible for violence and instability in the southeast region. They argue that his calls for secession are treasonous and a direct threat to Nigeria's sovereignty. From their perspective, his actions are not those of a peaceful advocate, but of someone inciting conflict, potentially leading the nation down a path of another devastating war. His trial has been framed as a necessary measure to maintain law and order and to protect the integrity of the Nigerian state against internal threats. Now, let's turn to the legal proceedings that culminated in this life sentence. The charges against Kanu have been numerous and serious, including terrorism, treasonable felony, and incitement. His legal team has consistently challenged the legitimacy of the proceedings, arguing that his rights have been violated and that the trial is politically motivated, rather than a fair judicial process. They've contested the jurisdiction of the court and the nature of his rendition to Nigeria, claiming it was an illegal abduction. These legal battles have added layers of complexity to an already charged situation. The verdict of life imprisonment has sent shockwaves through the region and the diaspora. The consequences are multifaceted and still unfolding. For IPOB and its supporters, this sentence is seen as a martyrdom, potentially galvanizing their movement and hardening their resolve. There is a real fear that instead of quelling the agitation, this decision could radicalize a new generation and lead to an escalation of conflict. The sit-at-home orders that have already crippled the economy of the Southeast on certain days are a testament to the influence the movement wields. A life sentence for their leader could be interpreted as a declaration of war on their aspirations, pushing more moderate voices to the fringes. Economically, the Southeast has already paid a heavy price for the ongoing instability. Businesses have suffered, investment has dwindled, and daily life has been disrupted. This verdict could exacerbate the situation, creating a climate of fear and uncertainty that further stifles economic growth. The social fabric of the region is also under immense strain. Communities are divided, and the security situation remains tense. There's a concern that increased frustration could boil over into more widespread unrest, pitting citizens against security forces and creating a cycle of violence that would be difficult to contain. Looking at the bigger picture, the Nnamdi Kanu case forces Nigeria to confront some uncomfortable truths. It brings the national question back into sharp focus. What does it mean to be Nigerian? Is it a shared identity built on mutual respect and equity, or is it a fragile union held together by force? The Biafran question, which Kanu so effectively amplified, is not just an Igbo issue. It speaks to broader themes of ethnic nationalism, resource control, and state failure that resonate in different parts of the country. His sentence doesn't resolve these underlying issues. It highlights them. It raises the question of whether a political, rather than a purely legal or military, solution is needed to address the root causes of these agitations. Can true peace be achieved through the imprisonment of a figurehead? Or does it require a genuine national dialogue about restructuring justice and how different ethnic nationalities can coexist peacefully and prosperously? The path forward is uncertain. Some analysts believe this moment could be a turning point, forcing a national conversation that has been postponed for too long. Others fear it will deepen the divides, making reconciliation even more difficult. The specter of the Biafra War looms large over these discussions, a constant reminder of the catastrophic cost of unresolved grievances. The story of Nnamdi Kanu is more than the story of one man. It is a reflection of Nigeria's complex past and its challenging present. It's a saga of memory, identity, and the enduring quest for justice. The life imprisonment sentence is not an endpoint. It is a new, critical chapter in this ongoing narrative. What happens next will depend on the actions of leaders, the response of the people, and the willingness of all sides to look beyond the immediate conflict and seek a lasting solution. The echoes of 1967 are a warning, and whether that warning is heeded will determine the future of Nigeria. Thank you for joining me on this deep dive. This is a complex issue with no easy answers, and it's crucial we understand the history behind the headlines. What are your thoughts on this? Let me know in the comments below. And if you found this analysis helpful, please like, share, and subscribe for more content that explores the stories shaping our world. Thanks for watching.